I didn't really think I was going to do anything like this anytime soon. I wanted to do some smaller projects, but I don't know, it's like Green Goblin massive miniatures just sat on top of my PC tower, whispering to me that this Brood Terror needs doing. And who am I to deny that, you know? I've really gone all out on the kitbash here. I've added all of the bits that you could ever think should be in a kitbash. We've got banners, hoods, we've got a severed limb, and I'm really excited to give this a go. I'm sort of just going through my current bucket list of miniature things that I want to do. I probably should do some more standard ones. I do actually think that the Brood Terror is already a stunning miniature. It's one of my favourite new edition Skaven. I just think it's so horrible, you know? It feels almost Cronenberg. I need to find out who actually sculpted this one. I'm not too sure about who sculpted what on the AOS team. I know some of them, I know more of the AOS team than I do the 40k one, but I want to get to know more artists. It fills me with so much inspiration. So why am I kitbashing? Well, I think it's just something to make it more personal. I've always just enjoyed this idea of customization. I'm not always that happy with how they come out the box. Adding your own personality and creativity and flair to something just makes it a little bit more sentimental. I've watched some Grimdark stuff, I've watched some kitbashing stuff, and I have a very, very basic foundation knowledge of kitbashing. I've not actually watched anything for this, and you can probably tell. There's a lot of bits of the green stuff where I'm like, I should have done something different to it, I should have added a bit more texture to it or something like that. And starting this video with a bit of a fail as well is really good, because it made me become incredibly aware of how fragile these things are going to be. So what I was trying to achieve was to push this little bit of metal through the green stuff. That was going to be a flap of skin, and it was just going to sort of be pierced through it. However, that really didn't work. It was so small, and I tried to use like a different tool. I really should get some proper little like jeweler's pliers rather than just using these bits, which was from a jeweler's kit, but I don't know, it was cheap, so it was probably not that great, to be honest. One of the biggest things I obviously know about with kitbashing is I didn't have any cheesecloth, but what I do have is little tissue. So I ripped it apart to turn it into one ply, and I couldn't find my PVA anywhere, so I must have used it all, otherwise I would have made this mix with PVA. However, what I have done is I've used some Lamium medium on this. I just had a look around on like kitbashing posts and seeing what people suggested as alternatives, and using a medium was one of the things that quite a few people were recommending, so I just ran with that. It has kind of worked. It is quite difficult for me to be light-handed. I've always been unaware of my own strength, I think. Just learning how to become more steady and how to put less pressure on, quite frankly, incredibly fragile things. I think I did an okay job, maybe. I broke a couple of bits. I'd be pretty shocked if I was just all of a sudden completely shit. I had heavy metal miniature handling training, because you have to have that if you're working with the heavy metal miniatures. I just don't give a shit about my own. One of the things that I know more than anything about Grimdark is texture. So what I've done here is I've got a really, really shitty old brush that I ended up having to use for super glue. And what I'm doing here is applying Astrogranite texture paint to the surfaces. I also wanted to hit it with a different texture as well, which is when I used Sterling mud. Was it Sterland mud? It's Sterland. Sterland! This is one of my favourite texture paints. I have quite a lot of it, and whilst I'm using this predominantly for just a different texture, it did make me realise that it would look really, really nice over the cloth, because obviously with these being Skaven and going through Skaven Blight, it's going to be the biggest shithole, you know what I mean? There's going to be so much poo everywhere. Just to give a bit of a story as to what was going in my head for this, was he had been taken by an engineer of that clan. I main Skaven and I can't even remember which fucking clan it is. Who are the technology lads? What's their fucking names again? Oh, is it Scryer? Yeah, Clan Scryer. Oh, yeah, okay. And then it's Mulder. I absolutely knew which ones I was talking about. I was just trying to fib at you. Pretend I don't know every clan in Skavendom. Of course I bloody do. I bet you didn't know about Clan Spittle, did you? I wanted to see this Brood Terror as kind of like a collaboration project between Scryer and Moulder. I've had this Vermin Lord tail and top shoulder plates for quite a while. I've still got a staff somewhere as well, but it didn't feel right to have that on this guy. Imagine that maybe they both died in battle, but the two clans were like, you know what, we can fuse these, it's all good, but it was just the tail left. So this spear with the Stormcast's hand still attached to it, I'm going to make that all gory when I do paint it. The whole purpose of that it was still stuck in the Brood Terror, they just couldn't get it out for some reason. Maybe they got tiny claws, I don't know. John Warhammer can't save the day all the time, okay? This is where I realised with this paper as well, maybe I need to take a different approach to it. It's so fragile at this point that it just keeps falling off, like that. After failing a couple of times to have it up for any longer than a couple of seconds, I decided just to have it go straight through the spike of the sigil of the Great Horned Rat. I don't know why I did an accent then. And I also wanted to add another bit of tissue just over the middle of that back and shoulder plate of the Vermin Lord. I thought that would look quite nice, and it does, especially now it's primed. I think it looks quite nice even before it's primed. It didn't look that gross in real life, but looking at it now on this, it certainly looks very viscous, doesn't it? I like that for Skaven. I think this is incredibly on theme for them. But I wanted it to be really, really Skaven. Of course, I covered that mother, absolutely covered it in sterling mud. And you might be thinking, you bloody mug, you've ruined this. This looks like shit now. But let's be completely honest here. We're missing something, aren't we? You know we are. You know what that something is, don't you? I bet you do. You're gonna put a little guess in the comments. Go on. Go on. Do us a favour. Do us a favour, lad. Please. Go on. Come on. Yeah, get writing. Come on. I'll give you a couple of seconds. Chains. Of course it's chains. Gotta be chains. How can I not have chains? Look at all these chains that I've got. I think these are costume jewellery. I'm just gonna say think. I'm not even gonna try and test it. I found these a couple of months back. So we've got this like little recycling shed that people just put some whatever shit in it. The amount of like magic cards and Pokemon cards I've found and sold is tasty. So if you live somewhere with students, when they fuck off home, just have a little look around, you know? You never know what you're going to find. I'm not going to go spend money on like jeweler's chain. I'm just going to take this. It's fucking binned. Free. We love free on this channel. I feel like them adding their symbols to a Stormcast spear would absolutely be something that the Skaven would do. I did not love doing this. Absolute pain in the arse. I mean, it's alright for rat, but my god, that was a nightmare to put round. Trying to make sure that I'm putting enough strain into the metal to make sure that I'm also not about to snap the plastic is hell. It's really difficult, and I think it set me back in a couple of places as well. I think this may have awakened some want to look at customization even more. I feel like if this was on a smaller scale though, I probably would have hated it a bit more. I think because it's such a big miniature, it's a little bit more forgiving in a lot of aspects. A few times where I'd like accidentally put too much force in, and that's what I don't like about push fit. I feel like you have to put too much force in. Ready to be primed. I have this primed now, having a second part out for this. It might not be the immediate video. I've got some other things that are more ready to go than this. So yeah, stick around if you want to see that, you know, do a little subscribe, little likes, and I do also have a Patreon now. Right now the job market is absolutely dreadful, as you can imagine, and so I'm getting a lot more time to put effort into this. Yeah, there's not much on there. It links to a Discord, but I don't use the Discord right now. I will be looking to get some other bits on there soon. So I hope you enjoy this, and I hope I managed to bring this across as more of a visual evolution than what I have done in my previous videos.